All right, Capricorn, welcome to your yearly 2016 Sidereal Astrology forecast. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check the description down below because your sign might very well be different. All right, Capricorn, so year of transformation, as you might guess, as it has been at the end of 2015. A lot of the same energies from the end of 2015 go into this year. And you can see it actually quite clear in the transit graph. Here's the transit of 2016. A lot of the ones, especially as far back as August, with Jupiter squaring up to your ruler Saturn. And then in October, Jupiter trining Pluto, Saturn squaring up to Neptune, Jupiter opposing Chiron. A lot of that goes into this year. And it's really the first half of the year where a lot of these will be culminating, and there's this sort of shifting point to it. But the key with this year is that we do have two very important aspects going on involving the north and south nodes. And essentially the north node is about our future growth, our future expansion, where we're excited in life, where that life path is unfolding. And then the south node is the past energies, the path behind us, what's being released. Now with the future energies, the north node, there is Jupiter, all right, expanding that, helping us see the road ahead, helping us learn more wisdom about it, maybe even opportunities for a lot of us. With that, there's releasing of the old relating to healing. Old energies involving the mind, perhaps, maybe even involving financial or material things, which will be a big emphasis of the year for you. And then hemmed right in between these two, you've got your ruler Saturn in that 11th house. So it's been, this shift, this later part of 2015 for you to work hard at maybe community stuff, maybe your ideals, your visions for the future, maybe organizations, maybe anything technological. Okay, and that's going to still be a very big emphasis this year, but it's all about working hard there in that community, organizational, or with your visions so that you can ground and really concretely work towards this life path, which is again expanding into the new and releasing the old through healing. All right. Now the new shift is that you've got the north node essentially going from your 9th house, where it's been for about the past 2.5 years of adventure, of philosophy. Maybe you've learned a lot. Maybe there's been a lot of wisdom since then. Now, North Node now shifts into your 8th house to join up with Jupiter. So Jupiter's already been there, expanding this. So you should have seen probably the second half of 2015 opportunities to learn more about yourself in a deep way. Maybe even feeling quite optimistic about change in general with Pluto or with Jupiter in that 8th. So now with the North Node joining up with that, it's about taking that wisdom that you've gained and still going to be expanding for you, that wisdom, and shifting it towards your life path. How can you get deeper? How can you get more involved with deeper connections, deeper relationships, more, deeper connection with yourself, really see what's going on behind the veil, underneath the surface. And again, it's not as deep and not as heavy as it normally is, the 8th house, when you've got Jupiter there, right? It's really expanding that and helping you see it in a much more top-down perspective and perhaps even an optimistic perspective. So it's definitely a time for the next couple of years to get deeper, to really ask yourself what's meaningful to you in life, all right? And a lot of the wisdom that's come to you recently can really be a big service to that, especially this early part of the year. Now, the healing energies are relating to old modes of thinking, as they have been with the South Node. Chiron's going into your 3rd house, so it's a good time to heal your communication skills, your communication abilities, your social abilities, releasing any old energies involving that. And as the South Node makes its way into your 2nd, having that faith and trust that everything is unfolding in divine timing, involving the material stuff, financial stuff, and pursuing things because it's, again, meaningful to you is a big part of this versus just the material gains, for example. So there's a lot of old energies being released with the South Node, so be willing to do that, be willing to heal, and then through that you're creating a space from those areas to then move into the more meaningfulness, the deeper, more expansive energies of life, okay? And then it's all through this hard work with that 11th house. So that's the year in a nutshell, all right? And it's all going to be involving these eclipses because it's the north and south nodes. So solar eclipse we're going to have on March 8th. It's going to be right on the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces, all right? So it's that 2nd and 3rd house. So really between March through September, use that middle part of the year to really do that healing, that transformation, releasing of both of your old values that are no longer serving you, maybe in the material side of things, as well as healing your communications, right? And the more social aspects of life. And then through that, in September, when we have the lunar eclipse, it'll be a culmination of healing and of space for more new beginnings. Now, also in March, we do have a lunar eclipse in Virgo. That's going to be March 23rd. So that's going to be a culmination of more awareness of your philosophy, of your life path, of your worldview, culminating at that time. All right, especially the stuff you've been perhaps learning more about over the past 2 or 3 years. And then, so that's basically this first half of the year. And then mid-year, we have this shifting point, this pivotal point. Like I was saying, a lot of these aspects culminate at this time. So it could be that hard work and patience or expansion. You know, you could see a shift here. There's also maybe confusion and doubt, though, with Saturn still squaring up to Neptune. You know, maybe in the financial material stuff. And, maybe even with the community things. But there's more information coming to light is what I'm getting a sense of, especially with Jupiter over the North Node at this time. So while it does require that faith and trust, there's also a shift in perspective and a shift of understanding. And then between that point through September, the next set of eclipses, it's a good time to integrate that. And there could be, like I said, a new beginning in many ways, especially with Pluto trining that North Node. So at this point, on September 1st, we have a solar eclipse in Leo. So there's going to be new beginnings, as there will continue to be, involving what's really meaningful, the deeper stuff, releasing yourself from unhealthy bonds, unhealthy attachments, right? Just basically getting deeper with self, which naturally transpires through your work, through your relationships, or whatever it might be for you personally. Lunar eclipse, September 16th, is that culmination of that healing energy around that time. Then at the end of the year, essentially, we've got Neptune going over that south node. There's a lot of old energies being released with the material stuff I was talking about at that time. And it's all about that faith and trust, right? And November, we have Jupiter squaring up to Pluto. All right, Jupiter's sextiling your ruler going into December. So again, more changes, but it's a little bit more optimistic in nature. Okay, and then right in December, it's just a brand new revolutionary kind of energy. Saturn trines Uranus. Jupiter opposes Uranus, which comes across as very positive. All right, it needs to be balanced, but it comes across as very positive. And Jupiter does trine the North Node. So it's a lot of new beginnings and a lot of new excitements and things, but it's coming from that hard work, patience, and perseverance from this year to activate and really move towards those life path goals. And it can be a year of really accomplishing a lot, especially for you with the 8th house, especially with the 11th house, the community, or your visions, your ideals, right? By releasing a lot of this old stuff regarding communications, social stuff, and the material things, all right? So it's definitely a year where you could look back and see what you've accomplished. You may accomplish quite a bit. So Capricorn, I hope you guys have a great year. I want to thank you all very much for all of your support, for liking, sharing, commenting, etc. It's been tremendously helpful. And for more specific information, of course, do check out the weeklies and monthlies, which I do as we go through this year. And have a great one. Thanks again. I'll see you guys next time.